Hello everyone and welcome to the online section spring 2020 semester of Modern American History. So I just wanted to create a quick video to kind of show you the course, go over kind of what I do in class, so go over the quote-unquote syllabus, and make sure that you're familiar with the modules. So the setup of the course, as you can see, week by week, there are unit projects, so you see project 1 right here. These unit projects are due the week before, but they get their own modules so you're not confused and they're easy to find. Very straightforward. The chapters that you're reading for each week are always in parentheses. So for week 1, you'll be reading chapters 16 and 17 in your textbook. Your syllabus is the very first item under syllabus and course materials, so please make sure that you read through this. Again, I'm going to do a quick overview of this class really with you right now, but still read the syllabus. Syllabus can be found here. If you want to download it, you can click the blue link and it'll download it as a Word document. This will tell you everything you need to know about the general structure of the course and the weekly schedule, which is also repeated in the modules. So my name, Ashley Stevens, Professor Stevens, Miss Stevens, Ashley is fine, whoever you want to address me. Primary mode of communication is going to be my email, which actually, this is a typo and I apologize for that. It should say at MTC instead of NTC. I just noticed that. I will correct that. I do have office hours on campus if you're interested, if you're local and want to meet face-to-face instead. They're Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to noon. Make sure that you call ahead to make sure I'm there. You might want to message me ahead. Sometimes, especially in spring semester, there's something going on at a high school, there's a delay, and I'm not there, so make sure you message me. Course description, basically this is a course that covers American history from the period of the end of the Civil War, so 1865, all the way through the 2000s. It is very fast-paced and it's very easy to fall behind, so make sure you kind of stay on top of things. The course textbook is OpenStax US History. This is an OER, our free educational online resource. It is available for purchase, but you by no means have to purchase it. It's just if you really want a physical copy, you can get one. If not, the way to get to the textbook, the easiest way is to click on modules, and it is right here. So under course syllabus and course materials, course textbook, if you click this, it will take you to a page that looks like, if this loads, looks like this, very good. And it will give you some options. If you'd rather have it open in its own window, please click the link up at the top and it will open in its own window. It's the exact same page. If you're online and just want to read it online, you can just hit view online and you can read it this way. It will always open to chapter 1, but we are actually going to start at chapter 16, the era of Reconstruction. If the table of contents bar is not open, it will look like this, but if you just click up in this corner, it will open it up and you can just find whatever chapter you need. To advance through the book, you can use the next previous buttons or the kind of quick link section headers on the table of contents. You can also search the book using the search bar. So I don't know, we can search Manifest Destiny, and it will bring up every section in the book that has Manifest Destiny or mentions the word. So Manifest Destiny is pretty popular. It's in quite a few chapters, but it will help you if you need to find things. This is the textbook and the information you're going to use for your quizzes, which are weekly. So let's get back to our syllabus. There are no other required texts. Everything else is provided for you in the modules in Canvas, so the only text that you need is that OpenStax text. You can download it as a PDF or save it. You can also download it to a Kindle or a Nook. Those are other options that you have if you prefer that. However you want to read it is fine as long as you are reading it. Course objectives. These are the major learning objectives for the course. You can read through them on your own. Some of them are dictated by the state, so some of them are Ohio course standards, but most of them are relevant to the topics we'll be covering each week, so like the Progressive Era, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, and some others. In general, for the course outline, each week you're going to have a module quiz. Module quizzes can be found under each week's module right under the lectures material. You'll just click on the quiz and it will tell you everything you need to know. It will tell you the due date. It'll tell you when it will lock, so you must have completed it and submitted it by January 12th, in this case at 11:59 p.m. All of them are multiple choice. They're usually 10 points, and they are all timed at 60 minutes, and each one allows you to have 2 attempts. So you can take it, see what you got wrong, kind of go back and revise, and then retake it. Canvas will automatically keep your highest score, so it does not matter. It will automatically keep your highest score and throw out the lower one. So I encourage you to do this, take 2. This also requires you to start it a little bit early to allow you to do the 2 attempts. Each week you'll also have a discussion post. Discussion posts are a little different. Module quizzes will always be due on the Sunday of that week. Discussion posts require an initial post, which will be due on the Friday of every week. This is the bulk of the work for this. Usually 3, maybe 4 paragraphs, a paragraph or so to answer each question. And then you will have to respond. I apologize.
Now, Morocco.
Got that video, sorry. You will have to respond to at least one fellow classmate by Sunday of that week. So it will always say that it's due on the Friday of that week, but it will be available until the Sunday of that week at midnight, because I want you to respond to fellow classmates over the weekend. So your initial post is due Friday, responses are due by Sunday, and that is your weekly assignments. So weekly, you only really have 2 things that are submitted to me. Obviously, you need to read the chapters that are assigned before you do them, and go over the lecture materials. But you have a quiz each week, can be taken up to twice. It will keep your highest score. And you have a module discussion post, which requires you to look at the textbook and your lecture materials before responding as part of your response. For lecture week 1, you have 2 lectures because it covers 2 chapters. They will pretty much always be presented as PowerPoint files or as PDF files. If you click on them, they will download. And once they are downloaded, they almost always have notes at the bottom. So my lecture notes are there in the notes section. I really need you to read through those. I add a lot of things that are in the lecture notes that are not in the textbook, and vice versa. So it's important that you have those at your discretion. So when I say notes, this is what I mean. So when you click slide to slide, it's this little section down here. Sometimes it looks really small. If you don't see it, you can kind of click and drag it up, and then you'll be able to read the notes that are added. So these are the important parts of the slide. In addition to those weekly assignments, instead of midterms or final exams in this class, you will have 3 unit projects. So some weeks, usually 2 weeks before the actual project is due, you'll have a project outline, which is basically just whatever you've worked on thus far for that project. Your first project is going to be the mini documentary project / presentation. It's basically you creating a mini research video presentation, a mini documentary of about 10 minutes long that you either upload to YouTube or you do as a narrated PowerPoint or something along those lines and submit. So the details of this are again found in the module, the Project 1 module, right after week 5. You can always email me if you have questions or concerns. I know there are some technology limitations, so you can always read through that. The list of possible topics is also included in that module in that page, so make sure you look at that. The Unit 2 project is a what-if history project. It's a paper, research paper. You kind of get to pick your hypothetical what-if history question and research it and write up a paper on it. And then your final project is gutting a book project, where you pick a book, nonfiction, written by a scholarly author that can cover anything that we've covered in the course, and then you write a kind of book report on it. And details on this and a step-by-step process on how to gut a book are also provided in the Unit 3, Project 3 module as well. So each week, pretty straightforward quiz, activity, discussion will be due. And then if it is a week that's right before an outline project, you'll have a project or a mini project. All right, additional information, evaluation and grading procedures. So if you want to know about attendance, you can always check your student handbook. For the purposes of this class, even though this is an online class, your participation is required, and your attendance will be recorded based off of your submission of weekly assignments. So if you're missing assignments for a week, you will be counted as absent. So if you're missing a quiz or the discussion, doesn't matter, one or the other. If you're missing one or the other, you're counted as absent for that week. So please make sure that you are submitting weekly assignments, especially if you are on financial aid. Because it will affect your financial aid. I'm required to report your attendance. If I'm not reporting your attendance, or if you're not attending class, it will impact your financial aid. You might have to pay for the class. So make sure you're submitting your weekly assignments. Grading procedures. Overall, the course is out of 100%. Grades are weighted, so the 3 major projects are 45% of your grade overall. The weekly quizzes are 20% of your final grades, so they are a good little cushion to have at the end of the term. And everything else, primarily the discussions, are 35% of your grade. So percentage breakdowns, you can calculate that out on your own. Makeup and late policy. I do allow late submissions for a medical emergency or some type of emergency. Please reach out to me if you know you're going to have a scheduling conflict with a due date. Since this is an online class, that's usually not a problem. If you know you're going to be out of town, make sure you work ahead. If you know you're not going to be available, just make sure you kind of tell me in advance and we can work around that. This is a 3 credit hour online class, so you notice it requires more hours per week of homework than your traditional 6-hour classes or 3 credit hour classes face-to-face. This is primarily going to be you going over those PowerPoints, going over the chapter before you work on stuff, watching more videos. I have more videos posted. So we're spending more time on your projects. That's the bulk of this time for you guys. Devices doesn't really apply since this is an online class. Plagiarism does apply. Make sure that you are not plagiarizing, as this can result in serious consequences, not only for your grade in this course, but also for your experience at college as well. It will follow you. So make sure you're not copying and pasting unless you have quotations around it and it's clearly cited. Make sure that you're not paraphrasing unless it's clearly cited. Make sure that you're not incorrectly citing things or just taking things out of context. So if it's a picture, make sure you cite it. Anything, just when in doubt, cite. If you want more information on plagiarisms or copyrights, the links are here. Just click on them. They will take you there. If you want to know more information on your rights as a student in terms of academic misconduct, or what the consequences are for academic misconduct, you can also explore it in the student handbook. So first offense is a 0 on the assignment, second offense is a 0 in the course, and third offense is dismissal from the college. So it does become very serious if it continues. Accommodations and disabilities. Please make sure that if this is something you're interested in or if it might affect you, that you contact Jennifer Monte or call the student resource office within the next week or so I can adjust things. It's better to have a great start than to realize there's a problem later and have to deal with this later down the road. So make sure you get in contact with them. Title IX, Shannon Nedzwicki has left the college, but if you ever feel discrimination of any kind based off of sex, race, ethnicity, any of that, or experiencing issues with pregnancy, childbirth, parenting, impacts on education, make sure that you contact either the Title IX coordinator or Jennifer Montag again for disability services so that they can help you. All right, and that is pretty much the course. I encourage you to explore those online sections to make sure everything works. Explore the online textbook. Explore the Canvas modules. Make sure that everything looks good and you're comfortable with the course. Feel happy, to email me. I want you to come talk to me if you're having any problems. So don't hesitate to email me or reach out if you're having problems or issues. And yes, good luck this semester.